Hello. This is Prophet Ambi Glow, and God is so good. Um, so the it had to happen, right? The it had to happen prophetic word that I put out a few days ago. Um, I really think that was hitting. Like a lot of people were feeling that, and I'm still like in that process, and God is giving me even more revelation of things that, like, I guess I haven't really accepted that it had to happen, but he's giving me revelation that, like, look, this happened and then look at what you do now. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are things that happen and it's like, oh, I had to be in that bad relationship because I wouldn't have started praying to you. You know what I'm saying? And I like think back, like, it had to happen where it was like, oh, like they had to treat me so bad that the only thing I could do was to call on you. You know what I'm saying? Um, and this was like when I was of the world, like I literally went in my closet. I had started like my own prayer closet, y'all, and I didn't even give my life over to Jesus. I just knew I needed to pray. Like I just needed to start praying because it was so bad. It was so bad for me. I mean, I cried straight for, over 2 years, literally every day. It was just so bad. I just was so miserable. And that was the enemy, the counterfeit. But I've forgiven him, and because I've forgiven him a long time ago. But it's also like, man, why did that have to happen? But then it was like, God showed me, like, look, you started praying to me. And this was your very first time of having a relationship with me. Like, when I was in the closet, it was my first experience. That was my first experience ever. And like I say, I didn't give my life over to Christ. I was still in the world. I was still very like, oh, witchy with like tarot cards and all these other things, right? And I just knew I just needed God to change my situation. There was nothing else. Like, I just needed God to change my situation. I was like, Lord, I can't get him to change, please change him. And of course, that's not what was happening. But like that was what I was, experiencing. And I just remember I was in the closet, right? And like I said, I didn't give my life over to Christ. So there would be days where I would just be in the closet and I would be crying so much. There was one time specifically where I literally felt a hug. I know it was Jesus now, but I felt a hug because I was in so much turmoil. And it was like, I don't know if y'all have ever experienced it, but like when you're in so much grief, it's not just an emotional pain. It's literally, it turns physical. Like you feel sick, right? Like I don't know if anybody else experiences that, but it's like you feel sick, and it's like you cannot do anything. And there would be days where I would be crying so hard, and as soon as I, was done praying, and like I said, at that time I was really fighting with God. That was my Jacob moment for real. Jacob to Israel moment for real. Like I was fighting with God. I remember walking out of the closet, and like I say, at the time I didn't know it was God, but now I know it was God. Like when I would walk out the closet and he would be telling me to leave the relationship, right? Like he would be telling me, hey, just end the relationship. But I would be like, no, I'm not doing that, right? Like that can't be, right? Um, and like I said, I didn't know that was God. It was like an internal like war, right? But now I know that was God. But I remember walking out of the closet and then hearing and feeling like a let go, not in like a good let go way. It was like I would walk out and it was just like I knew and I felt God, go like whatever you're gonna do, whatever. I swear to you, I remember thinking that. Now when I thought that, I know now that that was just God saying that. Like he was like, you're going to do whatever you want to do. Like, he literally just let me go, and he just said, you're going to do whatever you want to do. And the reason why he let me go is because I hadn't given my life over to Christ yet. You have to understand, like, when you give your life over to Christ, your body isn't your own. But because I hadn't given it over yet, he had no right. And we know God is a just God. Okay. He's not forcing anything. Okay. That wouldn't be love. Okay. So he's not forcing anything. Especially when you have not given, you have to give your life over. So because I didn't even know Jesus at the time. I didn't know Jesus. I didn't know anything about Jesus. I was just talking to God, and God was just like, he was just helping me through. But he was calling me, like, really in that moment. And it took some steps, but I was slowly getting there. But he just, like, let me go. Like, he was just like, whatever, you're going to do whatever you want to do. And I just remember feeling that, and it did kind of give me a disappointment. Like, it was kind of like, I really don't think anything's going to change, but I'm going to keep trying, right? I'm going to keep trying. Because I don't want to give up, right? But little did I know that I was trying for the wrong thing. Okay, that's very important. You have to have discernment. You have to have discernment, and you have to be able to go to God and be like, Lord, help me figure out what's the right thing. What's the right and the wrong thing? Because I don't want to be holding on to something that is the counterfeit. I don't want to hold on to anything that's not you. Anything that you have not promised me. And so he gave me, recently he's been giving me Psalm 119, specifically verses 65 through 72. Y'all, and when I say verse 71 has been really resonating in my spirit, y'all, I think this is going to resonate for other people too. So verse 65, it says, do good to your servant according to your word, Lord. Teach me knowledge and good judgment, for I trust your commands. Before I was afflicted, I went astray, but now I obey your word. You are good, and what you do is good. Teach me your decrees. Though the arrogant have smeared me with lies, I keep your precepts with all my heart. Their hearts are callous and unfeeling, but I delight in your law. Come on now. It was good for me to be afflicted, so that I might learn your decrees. The law from your mouth is more precious to me than 1,000 pieces of silver and gold. Y'all, God is still saying, it hasn't changed. The word hasn't changed. He just gave me further revelation. Like, it was good for me to be afflicted, so that I may learn your decrees. Now, if I wasn't hurt in the way that I was hurt, I wouldn't be where I am today. If these people, if I didn't have a Judas in my life, I wouldn't, the purpose wouldn't go on today. You know what I'm saying? That's why, God says you have to forgive everybody, because sometimes he uses people just to get your purpose to go, so you have to forgive and know that it was good that you were afflicted, because look, you pray more. You spend more time with God. You speaking in tongues now. You're praying in tongues. You wake up in the middle of the night and you actually pray because of what happened to you. You like, I ain't going back there. So it was good so that you could learn his ways and his commands and his decrees, right? So that's all, I just wanted to kind of further expand on that, because that is so good. It was good for me to be afflicted, so that I may learn your decrees. Y'all, if you keep saying that, that changes your world. That will change your world. If you say that, that will change your world, literally. That's so good. That changes your mindset. You won't constantly be living in victim, like as a victim. And that's what the world does, like, already too much. It's like, baby, ain't nobody after you like that. Like, I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, we love to live in victimhood. Like, oh, they did me wrong. But it's like, okay, well, what did you get out of it? Okay, so that's all I want to say. I'm not even going to get into that any further. But that's all for the word. I just wanted to continue on that. God is still saying it had to happen, and that it was good that you were afflicted, okay? It was good because you're closer. You're closer to him now. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing now. You actually can level up because of the things that you now know what to, like, now know how to do, right? So God is so good, and that is all for this word. So if you feel led, it helps me a lot. I thank you. The season of my life, I'm pretty sure, is coming to a close soon enough. God has been very faithful, and even if it's not coming to a close, Lord knows I'm gonna just stay faithful to him. Well, however he wants to do it, So I thank him. I thank him. I thank him. It's been wonderful, walking with God. A lot of people, I'm gonna be honest, it's not easy. Um there are some people who think walking with God is always glory to glory to glory, right? But sometimes he's pruning. He's pruning. There's glory to glory, but also before you get certain glories, he gonna put you in that wilderness, and you're gonna be like, what is happening? And you're gonna be like, why does this hurt so bad? And it's really because God is killing things that are inside of you that you can't take into the promised land, okay? You can't take it into the promised land. You can't get married and still be bitter. I mean, like, just examples. Like, you can't get money and then still have a poverty mindset. You just can't. Like, that's, God is not going to do that, because you're going to destroy it. You're not going to know how to handle it. But yes, that is all. God has been very good to me, and I know he's been good to y'all. So, thank you for supporting. Thank you for listening. Those who listen all the way through. I mean, just thank you for, confiding in me to give you the word of God, because it really is, like, I just want people to know, like, I want people to build their faith. This faith thing is real. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's real. But look, love God. You have to have a relationship with God. You have to be strong. And I have my weak moments. I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. But look, some people, they would never imagine being homeless for God. But it's like, look, as a disciple, they were homeless. Even Jesus said he has no place to lay his head. So as a disciple, if you love God, you're going to obey him. And I love God, so look, I'm obeying him. I'm obeying him because I know everything that he does is for my good. You have to understand that everything he does is for your good. He has plans to prosper you, right? And not harm you. You have to tell yourself that this is the word of God. You fight the sword, you fight the fear with the word of God, and you just keep going until you see the hand of God move. But thank you for listening and watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.